Perhaps the reason you are exhausted is not because life is asking too much of you, but because you are trying to hold together what was never yours to hold. Feel that for a moment, the quiet weight in your chest, the constant low hum of vigilance that never fully switches off. You have been gripping so tightly, outcomes, people, timelines, versions of yourself that no longer fit, that your hands have forgotten what it feels like to simply rest. You were taught that responsibility looks like control, that if you plan carefully enough, anticipate every possible fracture, stay one step ahead of disappointment, then safety will finally arrive. The mind whispers, if I can just keep everything in place, I will be okay. So you become the silent architect of every moment. You rehearse conversations that haven't happened. You carry the emotional weather of everyone you love. You try to outrun uncertainty as if it were a threat instead of the very medium life moves through. But notice what happens when the grip tightens. The more you try to freeze the river, the more chaotic the current feels. Relationships begin to feel like projects that must be managed. Your own heart starts to feel like a fragile thing that needs constant supervision. Even joy becomes something you monitor. Is this going to last? Am I allowed to feel this? Until the feeling itself grows thin under the weight of your watching. This is the exhaustion no one talks about. Not the exhaustion of too much doing, but the exhaustion of too much holding. Of treating life as something that must be continuously arranged, rather than something that is already unfolding, perfectly incomplete right in front of you. Pause here. Close your eyes if you can. Where in your body do you feel the effort of control most clearly? Is it in the subtle clench of the jaw, the tightness behind the eyes, the way the breath never quite reaches the bottom of the lungs? Just notice, without fixing, without judging the noticing. This is the first soft movement toward honesty. Control often disguises itself as care. It says, I am only trying to protect what matters. But protection that never relaxes becomes a cage, and the one who ends up living inside that cage is you. There comes a quiet moment, sometimes after a loss, sometimes in the middle of an ordinary afternoon, when the armor grows too heavy, when the mind, tired of its own predictions, finally whispers, I don't know, and instead of panic, something unexpected appears. A small, trembling space where the need to manage everything loosens its claim. This is not the surrender of giving up. This is the surrender of returning. Returning to the simple, radical trust that reality is already happening and you are already inside it. You do not have to carry the entire river to be carried by it. Feel the difference. Resistance is the clenched fist that tries to stop the water. Surrender is the open hand that lets the water move through. Participation is what happens next, when the hand, no longer fighting the current, begins to swim with it. Not toward a destination it has predetermined, but in conversation with whatever is arising. You do not need to know the shape of the next season to inhabit this one fully. You do not need guarantees that the people you love will stay exactly as they are. You do not need to solve the mystery of your becoming before you allow yourself to be here. The mind will keep offering its old strategies. It will say that letting go is dangerous, that if you stop controlling, everything will fall apart. But look closely at what has already fallen apart while you were gripping so hard, and look at what remains, quietly, stubbornly alive, beneath all the effort. What remains is presence, the soft, unbroken capacity to meet what is here. Even when what is here is uncertainty, even when what is here is grief, even when what is here is a joy so large it frightens the part of you that only knows how to manage. This is the invitation, to stop treating your life as a problem to be solved and begin treating it as a mystery to be lived. To trade the exhaustion of control for the quieter strength of participation. To discover that you were never meant to hold the entire sky, only to stand under it, open, breathing, and willing. You don't need to know where the river is going to trust the water beneath you. Let the current carry what it will. Your only task is to stay soft enough to feel it,